Welcome to Paranormal Gateway Paratalk. My name is Scott Wise, the host, and tonight's special guests are James, Liz's mom, from Cross the Line Paranormal Investigations based out of Southern Georgia. There are roughly 10 members, including James's wife and daughter. Some locations investigated include Wavy Hills, Interstate Sanatorium, St. Albans, Sweet Springs Sanitarium, Masonier House, Old South Pittsburgh, Lincoln Memorial, Old Green Coast Spring Jail, and Old Hampton County Jail, and many residential cases. Tonight they'll share some of their experiences from these vacations and share some audio, videos, and photos. So without further ado, let's welcome James, Liz, and Liz's mom to the show.
Hello.
I got you, Mom.
Hey. That's Darcy.
How you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Pretty good. How about you?
It's good. Good. Because you had like 20-something places that you went to over the years, and I didn't get to over half of those, so I mean, let's hear some of those stories and like experiences.
Oh yeah.
So y'all start. Guess you'll start with Lismo and go around and your experience and how you got interested in paranormal.
Well, I'm Liz. I'm from Phoenix originally. I don't know. I got into the paranormal kind of always. I've always been interested in it. You?
So my first interest in the paranormal really came when my daughter was about between 10 months old and 3 years old. There was some things that had happened. I always noticed her talking to somebody. She had night terrors. There were some other things, but the real main thing was we were driving in a car to go visit one of my friends, and she kept fussing and telling me not to go. My car was even acting up. My headlights were kind of flashing in and out and having problems with the engine. And I had pulled over and I was following one of my friends. And I told her at the gas station, I said, I think we're just going to go home. I said, she's really fussy. So later on, when I got home, we were heading towards Albuquerque. There was a massive car pileup on the highway. And if I had been following my friend, I actually would have been in that car accident.
Wow.
And I had no problems with the car the whole way home. She was fine. It's kind of like divine intervention, sort of. And that's when I was like, kind of sparked my interest. And just from then, I've always, kind of searched out for answers. I've had a couple of near-death experiences, actually, too, which has pushed me more and more to find out answers, I guess. So just curiosity.
Yeah. So. Yeah, for sure. And for me too, I don't want to say that, like I know it said in my bio about, predicting, certain events happening. And I don't want to say necessarily that it's paranormal right off the bat, maybe more like instinctual. I've always been really, I guess I'll say intuitive. To certain things that have happened, and it's kind of like one of those things. It's like it's like just random thoughts that kind of go as fast as they come, and then next thing I know, it's like the series of events that I saw. They just kind of happen that way, and that's kind of happened throughout my life. Same thing with people, or just being around certain people, or being in certain environments or places, like especially places that we've investigated too. I'm just very sensitive to like my surroundings and the energies, and I guess it's more of like an instinctual thing, I think. Yeah. So and then we met James last year. We've just kind of been doing it on our own, and now we hang out with James all the time. So
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. When we were in Phoenix, we did a lot of investigating, I would say, but it
Yeah.
was more or less just for our own benefit. And then like we met James, we
Which,
moved to
which,
Georgia.
which
trying to find
place
people
did
like
you guys go to?
I can't hear what.
What is that? I'm sorry.
What places did you two go to?
Gosh.
San Carlos Hotel,
Mhm.
some private homes.
Hmm.
We've gone out to the Estrella Mountains, which are very
Those are weird.
wild.
Yeah, the Stray
Ah.
Mountains are crazy out there.
Just different places.
Jerome's pretty interesting too.
Yeah, Sedona,
Yeah, Sedona's wild.
Tombstone, the regular
Yeah.
Arizona places.
Okay, James, you're up. You talk about yourself, and you
okay.
want to also say how the group got started then too.
Oh yeah, I can. Basically, like I said, my real good friend of mine started a group in 2010, and I joined in 13. I met him on a ghost tour, and it's funny. I was the only one that brought equipment to this ghost tour, and so when everybody else would hear a noise and be scared to run into a dark room, I would go into the room, and so
Running towards it.
he would allow he basically told me you're on the team after that tour, and it was a 2-hour tour, and he let me do the whole night and with him, and I've been doing it ever since. Like we've been to several places, like read off the list. And in 2021 he gave me the team, and I've been trying to follow in his footsteps and beyond and grow it into a more better team, respectable team that people know and look up to and help them. And our biggest goal in anything is to help people, especially families in need, especially if they're having a dark entity or mad or upset entity in their home, like a case we just recently did.
Mhm.
And so that's basically as far as how the team started. Far as myself, paranormal experiences ever since I was a kid. My family's never shied away from the paranormal on both sides, my dad's side or my mom's side. I know one story, my grandfather used to tell me his grandfather used to make tables dance and stuff like that, and was into like witchcraft and stuff. And then on my mother's side of the family, they're all mediums and can see things and intuitive on things. So it's I've never been away from it. I've always been around it. And seeing my grandfather when I was probably 12, after he passed, walking through the house was really, it spooked me then. But when the show Taps came out, I was like, wow, you can really do this. Go chase after and investigate it. So that I was hooked as a fan back then, and got old enough to where I could actually start doing things on my own. And then until I eventually got on a team, and this is the only team I've been on. Like I said before, that it was just me by myself. I would go to people's homes, graveyards, wherever I thought maybe it was spooky or haunted, and see if I could get anything. And so that's pretty much sums up as far as us, or as far as myself.
All right. Oh, when we first started, what's your favorite month you have one a lot? God, that happens all the time. So, with your one over or the other.
Yeah.
I got the face plaster. Yeah, we first started off back in 2009. I think our group got together. And we had a lot of residential cases, and we had some really weird ones that I'll tell you real quick about the one we had. When I worked in graphic arts, and I did that for about 30 years, I guess. And we had a group of people will go out after work and party, like we used to do. And some girl at the Royale, they came to work one day. Her best friend was crying. I'm like, what's going on? She could see her husband murder her. on the kitchen floor of our house.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, it's horrible. Actually, about a year or two later, it was. We got a call from somebody who at their house, was having problems and saying they got a female spirit there that we didn't. Oh, and sure, and got there, and they said that the house, they had a girl murdered there, and I said, was their name, look, was their name so? And they go, oh, God, that's it. So we investigated that house.
Wow.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Oh, I can
So,
imagine. I can imagine.
at that, at the least they get to 3 or 4 a year. We
Mhm.
go to places like, more like places you guys go, the more famous places. Like,
Mhm.
there's the Post Town Elementary School. That's a good
Okay.
one to go
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there two times now.
Nice.
And we've been up to Hazdale House.
Mhm. I
That's
haven't been
awesome up
there
there.
yet. Yeah, I've heard all about it, but I haven't been there yet.
Ah, it's awesome. I think I'll go back in the spring.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to be able to go.
Yeah, we used to do a lot with when we could, and sometimes like me and Philip, we would go with another team we're friends with, and because some other people just weren't able to go on that aren't on the team no more. Excuse me, but and we did a lot of traveling with that, but we COVID really put a damper on things for a while, and
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
kind of slowly getting things back around. Like the residential case we just did 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's been the first residential case in a couple of years, honestly. Mostly it's been actual, famous
That one was
places.
wild.
Yeah, yeah. And that's some of the. I don't know if you saw the Delco video I sent you, Scott, with Liz. That was Liz doing it. And it's telling me to leave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It didn't
whatever
like
was
you.
there, no, it didn't. She thought it was demonic. I think it was just a mean old man.
Yeah.
Angry
Just
spirit.
didn't want yeah, he didn't
Like
want anybody
me.
on his property. And I wound up making a deal with him, and it was the first time I made a deal with a ghost, but it seemed to work at first, but he came back a couple days later. Either he came back or a different spirit showed out, and we wound up saging the house and got it outside, and because now they've been there a year, dealing with it for over a year, and now they've actually had peace the last week or two that we went through there. And but I mean, before it was the husband was afraid to be in the home alone. He was getting grabbed, stuff was being thrown, daughter was being choked. I mean, it
Oh,
was
God.
it was
Yeah.
nasty. It was very nasty.
Yeah, the energy in that
And,
house was intense.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But
Definitely.
yeah, I offered him some quarters, and
Whiskey.
the story to it. My daughter called me. She's very sensitive. She's never been in the house. She called me and said she feels like it's an old mean man. He wants to make a deal. You need to offer him some silver coins. And I said, I got silver coins, but I'm not giving them to the ghost. So I said, he'll have to settle for some quarters. So I took some quarters with me. And at first, he accepted, we were doing a Delco session. He accepted the quarters. I said, well, I'll give them to you at the end of the night. And I guess that wasn't quick enough. And he wound up going no deal. And so we relapsed on it again. And during one of the conversations we had with him, I brought up, somebody brought up about whiskey. And he said he liked whiskey. And so the homeowner, she brought out a bottle of whiskey. And I'm sitting there, it's getting near the end of the night. I'm trying to figure out how to make a peace with this entity to stop and leave this family alone. So it just popped in my head like almost like Indians back in the day, making a off peace offering with smoke and tobacco and whiskey or whatever. So I had her, the man that we appeared to be dealing with was from the late 1900s, plantation owner. And I said, okay, bring me a glass. And she brings me a champagne glass. I said, no, this man, if he was a plantation owner and prideful, he ain't going to drink from a champagne glass. So she brought me a mason jar. And I said, he would recognize that. So I went back to the back room where he was at. I mean, he was on command, REM pod, our REM pods across the room. You could activate that REM pod or activate that. I mean, he would do it. And so anyway, he started communicating through one particular REM pod, and I went back there and literally stood over the REM pod, and it was laying down, so the antenna was out. I wasn't near the antenna, and I set the glass down, I set the quarters down, and I said, "Look, if you'll take this whiskey and leave this family alone," and he started lighting up, for communicating yes, and I went to pour it, and the light went out, the REM pod light, and I said, "Hey, I need you to light it up. I can't see." He'd lit it up. I start pouring, and he did it twice for me. And as soon as I stopped and put the cap back on the bottle, it was like the whole room changed. It went lighter. The activity stopped. It was like a whole different feel through the house. And yeah, Liz and Darcy can tell you they felt the same way. It was just like it lifted.
It was almost like instant. Just felt better.
I was asleep, so I wasn't
there. And so it was crazy, and it lasted a couple of days, and then she said stuff started happening again, but they had more than one entity in the house, so I don't know if that was the same. It didn't feel like the same entity when we went back another weekend, and it didn't communicate the same way or anything, so I think it was something else that was trying to cause trouble. But we wound up saging and prayers and everything, and it drove it out, because I constantly, every couple of days, I text her, "Hey, how's everything going? Hey, how's everything going? How's your daughter?" And she said they said they've been calm, they've been able to sleep. The only one thing they had, and it's ironic, the way we saged the house at one end all the way through the house, and we drove it out the door at the master bedroom, which was the exit door, and or they have a door in that room. Her daughter was getting a shower in there, and she called her, and she was in the living room. She said, "Are you locked out of the house trying to get in?" Because she said something was jiggling the door knob, and they're out in the middle of nowhere. So the first thing she thinks is an intruder. She goes, gets her gun, runs around the house, runs outside, nobody there. And her mother actually brought it up to her that, isn't that the door that y'all saged out? And so I feel like it's outside the house and was trying to get back in. So I told her to resage the door and windows and everything, but at least it worked. Because I told her, I'm no shaman or anything, medicine man or anything like that, but I have saged the house one time before, and it seemed to calm things down. So we'll give it a shot this time too, and it seemed to have drove it out, because they haven't had any problems since, other than that one instance with the door jiggling, like something was trying to get back in. So that was pretty wild.
Excuse me.
But yeah, that was pretty crazy investigation on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
So James was like the ghost whisperer because he did so well.
Yeah.
We did a saging one time. It's down Maryland. They had thought they had a girl spirit there, and so we did sage to her house, and we were also doing recordings, the frequency and stuff. We didn't hear it at the time, but we picked up like 2 knocks, bang bang, and a low girl's voice saying, "I think I'm crossing over, Mother."
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's
Do
awesome.
you want to hear it? I gotta hear it.
Yeah.
I hear it. I gotta leave for you. Just give you chills.
I imagine.
I like hearing stories like that, though, because I honestly think that's kind of what even though we're more looking for evidence and scientific evidence stuff, but I do feel like, there's a point maybe we could help somebody cross over, help the spirits that are stuck.
At least give them some peace or something.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 bangs. I don't know if it's crossing over there we can avoid it or not, but here it is. I got her up.
Yeah, hear something, yeah.
Here, little girl.
Yes.
Wow.
Sounds like Carolina.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's And what I'm doing is evidence for that. I called my friend Bill because it was actually I picked him up on my EVP, but he didn't get on his. So I don't know if it was talking to me or what, but I had my one that I found. Yeah,
Wow.
It's really
that
cool.
was so nice.
We're still going through all the video and audio so far with that one, so we haven't other than what like some of the video I've shown you and we've posted with like the Delco session and all, we haven't been in. I heard they caught some stuff on recorders, but I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know what we've caught so far at that house, but I know I feel better either way because the lady and her daughter and all have been able to have some peace. So that's all that matters in the end, regardless.
I'm really distraught.
Yeah.
When we went there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I have some video you just sent, and I think I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I think I just sent a bunch because
yeah. Hey, we have plenty of time. I think I have 6 videos, and I think I got
play
4 or
them.
5.
I'll tell you about them or talk about them.
All right. I have to warn you. I don't know. I don't know if it ever comes out. That's fine. Usually do. But I did beep your thing. So you hear a beep, but I think I had the beep too loud. So make sure your
volume's down.
It's first hour you do the beeper, but you want to start with that one? Your shirt getting kicked, or
shirt getting kicked? Yeah, we can start with that one.
Okay.
Night that they have a show, they're paying attention to everything but you. You have the one time right now. Something just moved this chair. Yes. Gave me chills. Was that you? Somebody behind me? Are you having fun kicking my chair and moving my chair?
That's actually Philip who started the group, and that was his new wife. They came up. We were investigating the city of Tifton, which started with the library last year, and then it turned into investigating the theater and then investigating City Hall and then investigating the community center, and then doing a big public reveal, which we just did this past December. Not December, I'm sorry. Was it September? August. Yeah. It was August. And dates running together. But that was in the theater. He came up, asked if he could come up for a couple hours, him and his wife. And it was funny because his wife was like, I don't believe in this mess. And she was doing one session and she caught actually a little girl said, Mommy, which was a little girl there at the theater. And that's one of the things weird with the theaters. We were trying to figure out why was it so haunted? It's so haunted. I mean, it's active as could be. That it was even active during, and Liz could tell you this, it was active during our reveal. Her and the sound guy heard a man between them.
We did. That was crazy. We were just sitting there doing our thing, and then it was like
they were up in the foyer, and they heard a voice between both of them, and they're not afraid to interact. But she got an EVP and Mommy, and then that there was happening about, and another video I have, but I don't have it muted because it's too funny, but I didn't send it. But same situation, he's sitting there in that chair getting kicked, and I have a tripwire across the stage, and he said, okay, it lit up, light number 6 or whatever, and it's a 36-foot long tripwire, and can you light up light number 4? And you hear, I had the recorder and the camera right there, and you hear something go F off. And but yeah, the theater is pretty active. I don't remember if I sent you my daughter getting grabbed handprint, but that was
that was crazy.
Yeah,
that one's nuts.
Yeah, they were down below the stage, and she was wearing a sweater, and
Hmm.
she got the video and all, and she started feeling somebody grabbing her, like the whole fingerprint. She described where the thumb and everything, and then you see the imprint form, and it was pretty. So I said she's sensitive, so stuff like that happens to her more than most people. But she took it like a champ though. She didn't back down. It spooked her a little bit, but she didn't back down. And
No,
she's 16, 15,
that was
16.
our second night too, and that was nuts
Mhm.
because we watched it because I was down there with her when it happened, and we were all just sitting there in the dark, doing what we do, and then she was complaining about her arm hurting, and I think it was me and Tyler's wife. We were
Tyler.
down there. But yeah, she pulled up her sleeve, and there was like nothing there, and then all of a sudden you just see this handprint just form, like
Mhm.
just red, like in the form of a handprint. That was nuts. So that was cool to
Wow.
see it, like, with my own eyes. It just showed up on her shoulder, no explanation or anything. That was just crazy.
Yeah.
I've been tough though before too. Usually, like if the one I had was like my leg like that, so it wasn't
Oh, wow.
anything. I didn't say it would scratch or anything, but
Hmm.
Mhm.
because I was looking for bugs and stuff, and there weren't any bugs in the breast or cobwebs or anything. But
Yeah, I've been
I
scratched before too. That's no fun.
Well, I feel like we all kind of got something at the theater.
what?
Because my leg, I remember I got grabbed. I think Tyler got grabbed, and James, I'm pretty sure you did too, but none of us had marks.
No, not like that.
James, you got scratched at the old Hampton County
Hamilton
Jail?
County Jail. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got scratched. It looked like two fingernails across. Best way to describe it, almost like an upside down Nike sign. It looked like two fingernails just went up and then like over to the left. It's about 6-8 inches
Sourced.
long. Yeah, and at first I thought it was like a wasp sting. We weren't even investigating it. We were just deciding where to put cameras, and I was coming back, walking across, and my wife actually made this assumption. I was where it happened at. I was walking across where they used to keep the women, the holding cells for the women, and she was like, "Well, maybe it was a woman just trying to reach out and grab you and scratched you, basically." Who knows? But I mean, we caught all sorts of cool activity there and heard audibles. With all our, we were shushed by something on there. All of 10 of us at the time heard it. We were up on the second floor of it, which we're going back in January. But yeah, something shushed us loud enough that we were all like, "What the heck was that?" And we caught it on audio, and we also caught what sounded like a guard whistling. I'm assuming a guard whistling on audio, almost like he's going through doing his checks and just whistling.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And pretty cool to be a small jail. It's very active. The cell doors slam on their own. The EVPs, it's insane. It's insane, and just being scratched. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah, you think that it'd be shushing you in a library, not
Not a jail. Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, Hamilton County Jail is pretty cool. We're actually booked to go back in January. A lot of members
awesome.
haven't been far as an investigator. Liz and Darcy did get to go recently. We went down there. They did a little Paracon there, and we went down there and met now friends with War Party Paranormal and all them.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yep, met them down, and they actually that's where we did my daughter got to do all of us, but her mainly got to do her first Delco session with the red goggles and all, and it communicated. It said it wanted Liz.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Scott, I know are you familiar with the Delco session?
Oh, that's the one that there with the eyes.
The goggles,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
sensory deprivation.
Yeah,
It's kind of like Estes,
we
but
did that
you're looking at
before,
the red
but
light.
we're doing the other one with the
With the
goggle
blind.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they got the SDs, which is what we used to do with the blindfold.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
we saw what War Party was doing, which one of their Mike Del Coro, he's the one who invented the goggles. And he got them on Ghost Hunter store for sale, and I bought a pair after watching what it did with my daughter. And it's wild. I've done it like Sweet Springs Sanatorium when I was up there. I mean, it's a red light you're staring into. Nope. If somebody walks in front of it, you can't see anything, but yet it enhances your other senses, and you could see things through the goggle. I mean, I've seen black masses cross the goggles before, like up there and stuff. It's pretty wild. And which Sweet Springs was pretty wild itself, the history and the activity.
Yeah, we had the ping pong balls and cut
Yeah,
them
pink.
in
Yep.
half.
And put the red light
then
on. Yep.
And we had like white noise
Mhm.
and I think it's
that's
weird
funny.
because you sort of like you're going somewhere else, like it
Yep.
feels very weird.
Yep.
So I was there for 10 minutes straight. I'm like, I was done after that. But I come out like looking around and I'll see different things all around, like, it was weird.
Well, that's what I don't. It's on my TikTok. I don't think I sent it to you. They one of our investigators, Sarah, she was doing it at that residential house, and I asked it to walk up beside her, and of course she can't see, she can't hear. She's got the spirit box in her ears, and all of a sudden she's like, I feel someone beside me, like standing, towering over me. And I mean, it was just as soon as I asked it, she felt like somebody walked up to her. It's pretty wild, and it's pretty cool too because it's almost live. Basically, it is live, basically, with communication back and forth. If you are getting something and not radio, but yeah, that's pretty wild. What I don't remember what else I sent you.
Well, I hope that's a session with
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to play that now.
James, run.
No, I'm not running.
Fucking go.
Why?
James, go home.
I can't. I'm trying to help people. She's fucking looking right at me too.
What place was that?
That was at that residential house.
Okay.
That I had to make a deal with. But that was pretty wild. And Liz, I don't know what she remembers of it. She was the one doing it. But
everything blends together when you're doing that. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know what I'm saying. I'm just kind of blurting out whatever I hear. But I will say, whenever I was doing it, I kind of felt like I was being directed a little bit. I don't know, because you just kind of lose sight of what's going on. I mean, I'm sitting in a chair and I've got these big red goggles on and this whoosh stuff in my ear, so I don't know what's happening. But it was pretty wild, especially.
That's interesting you say about being directed, because that's you had your head tilted, and when you started talking about James Run, before that you were talking about Courtney, which this is a shorter version of it, but it's basically said Courtney, who was sitting beside me in that video.
Oh yeah, it told her to fall. Yeah,
fall, and then it started talking about I needed to go, but Liz didn't know where I was at because I had been moving around, and then I sat down right there, and then when she started talking about me go, her head turned up straight, and she just went looking dead at me, and I was just like, wow.
It's weird. It was just it just felt like something was just, I don't know how to explain it, just kind of directing me to wherever. But it's cool to see, like, when you do like the Estes session and the Delco session, like how things match up, because you don't really know what's going on while you're doing it. You're just saying what you hear. But there's been several instances where we've done those sessions where it's like it's just a legit conversation between James or whoever, and then you just kind of translating whatever you're hearing. But it's like the time when we were at City Hall, and Mom had that conversation with Brandon about drinking. Like,
Yeah,
how do you do that? It's pretty cool.
the same at the theater too.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
It was just a full on conversation with a dead guy. I mean, it was insane.
We did
Yeah, that was wild.
we did the SDs in his house. So every day sitting on the death couch.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, they had the road they swore that for too, but yeah, it's something else. You gotta get there. I know it's a hell of a haul for you. It's probably a 20-hour drive for you at least.
Yeah,
From where you're at.
yeah. We're my wife and I are with our other friends that live up near Virginia. We're supposed to be going to the Fairfield Infirmary in Ohio.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it is,
yeah,
in
Fairfield.
November, early November, and
I think it's Fairfield County. I think.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
13, 14 hours for us to drive up there.
That's about 8 hour drive for me Friday. Wow.
Oh wow, that's not bad.
Yeah. Like where you say it was, Virginia?
It's where they live at in Virginia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A couple of them live in Kentucky, and most of them live in Virginia. And they used to have their own teams, and then they just they do their own thing now, just more for personal experience than anything.
Right.
So we've made friends with them over the years, and they invite us on some of the bigger trips, and so we go up there with them, and me and my wife just kind of wander off and do our own thing, and so it seems you get more activity when you're quieter and less people. So that's usually we have had a lot of success like that, and which at Sweet Springs they didn't care. It was first night was like that. We got to a smaller group of 4 of us, and we were going around. Buddy Chad, he got his headphones pulled off his head on the 3rd floor by the nurses station, which is very active. And then, but on the 3rd floor on the other end of the building, it's hard to tell you the actual location of it, but there's a little walk downstairs, and it goes down a hallway. Well, I come down the hallway, and we found the group, and my wife and I went to bed. I was by myself wandering around, and they were like, come here. And I had headphones on, so I was listening to, recording live, and I could hear it sound like somebody walking with me. And I got down there, and Brad said, "Did you hear somebody walking with you?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "That's what we heard too." And he said, "Listen." And so from where I just walked from, it sounded like somebody down there slamming stuff, slamming cabinets, moving. It would run down to us, go behind us. The door, like at the stairwell behind us, would start shaking. You'd hear bottles and stuff, which were in rooms behind us, moving, clanking together. Then it would shoot back to the other end of the hallway, and you'd also see like shadow figures crawl out from the floor of the doorway and then go back in. It was insane. And then it happened twice at the far end, up the little stairs I was talking about. Only thing I can say, it was an apparition trying to manifest. It lit up the hallway, and then it moved from left to right, just this white glow, and then it went away. And it did it twice, and we were like, okay. When we finally got done, we went down there, and there was no way it could have been a car because how high up we were, and it was forest at the window right there. There was no way it was car lights. The road was on the opposite side of the building, and none of us had a camera. Well, Gina had a little body cam, but the battery died when that happened. But I'd been carrying a camera for 2 days, and it was like it was going on 2 a.m. the last night. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see what happens, because people say if you don't record, you'll get more activity. So I just said, screw it. I'm just going to do it for personal experience. And then all that mess happened and no camera. So that was pretty wild. Beautiful place, though. If you've never been, that place is the history. Thomas Jefferson designed it. as a hotel. George Washington stayed there. It was we met the owner. He was very humble, very nice, older gentleman. He was there gardening, and he actually lives on the property. But the place is just massive and loaded with history. All the old buildings around there, and the nature and everything. I mean, it was wild. It really was.
I had some gave two responses here. One from Waverly, I think.
Oh yeah, that's probably Brandy. At Waverly, we were on the 3rd or 4th floor. I can't remember exactly. And the ghosts there followed her around all over the place. I mean, she could ask it to. She'd be like, "Are you still here?" Grab the K2, and it'd light up the red. I mean, it was they loved her. One time, she outlined a man like really close to her face with it, and I walked up to her really fast. I said, "Hey, man, that's my wife." And the K2 went back to green. And I told her, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You can do whatever you were doing, and it went back to red again.
I could play that if you want.
Yeah, you can play it. Go ahead. All right. I'm filming that.
It's going off now even before.
Oh, can you stick it in there? Is this your room?
This is your room, huh? Whoa.
Can you back away? Can you back away for a second? And we know it's your room. Can you back away and quit touching it? A little more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now can you light it up again? Light it all the way up. Light it all the way up, please.
Back to red, just like you did. There you go.
Yeah, Waverly was. We went twice. Waverly was pretty wild. The first time wasn't quite as active. I mean, we had some stuff happen. Which first time I went, I was by myself with our other friends, and then the second time we went, wife went. It was in like February. It was really cold. Had that, and that was actually this February last year we went, and actually seen. This is the first time, long as I've been doing this, saw my first solid full body apparition of a woman hospital patient, and that was mind blowing. It was on the first floor. Me and my wife just come out of the death tunnel, and and I don't know if anybody had been down there or not, but when we came down to the first floor, all the doors were shut, and the rooms that are down there, and you go to the like a wooden door to the death tunnel, and we come back out. This room was open on the side. So we walked up to the room, and I peeked in, and heaters were running, and it was really loud. And I had my headphones and recorder on, so I was like, "No, I don't want to go in there. You ain't gonna hear nothing." So I leaned back like this to allow her to kind of look in, because it's a big room. And when I leaned back, I looked back in the direction we just came from, and there was a woman, shit you not, standing there. It was like something off The Ring. Her face was covered with hair. I could see her whole hospital gown, even with the little insignias all over the gown. I saw her from the waist up. She was just standing there, and just what I couldn't make out a whole lot of facial features, just more of a grayish skin tone, I guess. But she was solid as me and you, and she was there and gone like that, and enough that I went, "Oh, it made me jump." And but that's what we're there for. I mean, it was mind blowing, and I didn't recall at the time, but when I went back and listened on the recorder, she was following us, because listening on the recorder, we come out of the death tunnel, and I stopped and I asked Brandy. I said, "What's wrong?" Because she had stopped, and she said, "I heard something dragging behind us." And I said, "Oh, okay." And then we walked up to that door, and obviously it had to have been that patient walking or dragging behind us something. I don't know if she had feet or not, because I like I said, waist up. That's how close she was to us, because the way Brandy was leaned looking in, she was close enough. Brandy's body kind of leaning over blocked her lower half. That's how close she was. And so yeah, that was probably the wildest thing I've ever seen doing this. And so I get to check that mark far as a full
yeah. That's like a ghost in our dreams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was a blink of an eye, but it was enough that I could see the details of the gown, the little the little decorations on the gown. That's what was mind blowing.
Yeah. I've seen numerous shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for shadow figures throughout the years, and
Mm-hmm.
but I never got to see full body apparition. So all years didn't do it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, on a team, I've been over 10, doing it close to 20, even on my own. I've never seen anything like that. That was, I mean, it's a dream come true in a sense, and it was wild. It really was.
Yeah, I can't think I've ever seen anything like that. Not a full body apparition.
Mm-hmm. I think you've seen like shadow figures or something before.
Lots of shadow figures. Yes.
Yeah.
More specifically, at the end of my bed at like 3 a.m. Why? Yep.
Right.
That's how they come to me when I'm trying to sleep.
Follow you home.
I started at the post-town elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, we got the best evidence ever there.
What'd you catch?
In this gymnasium, they have these basketballs, and they're like not really completely filled, so you can't really bounce them much, you know. Well, we just had a lot of fun yesterday too, and so one guy was pushing around his wheelchair all over the place, and it was old man wheelchairs that have like leather bucket seats, and so they put a basketball on that chair. And me and one friend down were sitting up at the base, and they came down and said, "Did you guys move that basketball chair?" And you said, "What basketball are you talking about?" "Oh, we had basketball chair. We were like up there, it's in the middle of the gymnasium." And we're like, "What the hell?" And so he ran up and got his video stick. We sat there and watched it. They're not doing things fly off that chair.
Wow.
Yeah, I have it here. I flashed for you by Hell and Show.
Hey, yeah, I'd like to see that.
All right, there you
I'd
go.
like to see that.
I was going to say do a full screen. Yeah.
Pretty cool. You can tell it got smacked off the chair. It didn't just like roll off. It got hit.
Off the chair, yeah. And it came out the whole way to the middle of the soft onion.
Yeah, that's wild. That's I didn't try it when I was at Waverly. Actually I did the first time. Little boy, supposedly Timmy, buddy Philip tells a story when he was there one time before that he was trying to do everything he could to get Timmy to move a ball, or I think it was. And he wound up offering him $5. And when he offered him $5, the little damn ball rolled all over the place. So he tucked the money in one of the wall holes. It's like, damn, old Timmy's a little shyster.
Yeah, that's how it was the post-town elementary school. They put pennies down for the kids on their desks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And they got 2 rooms full of baby dolls.
Oh, wow. Oh, my daughter would like that room.
Yes.
Collect baby dolls.
Yeah, one friend who goes, he'll care for me to watch, but they bother me. So.
And my daughter has 74 of them right now.
Wow.
Porcelain dolls, yeah. And two that are haunted.
There you go. I have one from the library.
I'm trying to remember which one. Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to go ahead and play. I can't remember which.
It says it says basement EMS tripwire.
Oh yeah, okay. That was me and Brandon were down there.
Yeah.
Are you down there messing with my friend Brandon? If you are, it's okay. Light up these lights. Just let us know it's you. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, that was at the Tifton basement or Tifton Library, public library in the basement. We did that for October of last year. They were wanting to do it kind of like the way she approached me was more like a Halloween thing, but they had activity. They wanted to advertise to try to boost the libraries, getting people to pay attention to the library, I guess, in coming to the library. But she had employees that complained of things happening all around the library, and even in her office, drawers would open and shut on their own. What's interesting though is the library used to be a post office. They just added on to it, and it was built in like 1911, I think it was. And all sorts of activity. There's an apparition of a man in a hat that's seen there. And an employee drew a drawing of it for us. We actually found what seems to be a 12-year-old little girl there. And, of course, we were trying to figure out why would a 12-year-old be there. Well, then when you go back and look at the old pictures, when the post office was built, all the wealthy homes and stuff were right there in town. So we're thinking she may have passed away of a sickness. And when they tore the home down, she went to the closest thing she recognized. So she's there now. We also got an EVP of a former janitor, William Brooks there, but he didn't actually work at that library. The building next door they just demolished was the library before that. Before they turned the post office closed down in the 60s, and then they turned it into the library. So the building next door they used as a library prior to that, and we're thinking he came from there when they tore the building down, or he may have been going back and forth even before they tore the building down. But that's the three spirits we know of for sure. But people have had their hair played with, their names called, and they'd be the only ones in the building. Pretty wild activity. They had one of their employees, Do what, Darcy? Yeah, books falling off shelves, and they come in the next day. One of their employees, he was down in the basement, and he's like 60, 70-year-old man, and he felt like something rushed him to the point that he turned around and ran out of the basement and wouldn't go back down there by himself. And actually, we're actually doing a public ghost tours this weekend and the next weekend there. The library is selling tickets, raise funds for them, and we're basically running the tours for them.
Awesome.
And hopefully the spirits will participate and interact and give the people a show, because how it is. It's on their time. If they want to interact, they will. If they don't want to interact, they won't. And but I think it's going to be a good time either way. And but yeah, the library, surprisingly, it was more active than we realized. And what was cool about the whole one of the 12-year-old girl, one of the audios we caught when we caught William Brooks confirming it was him, had a spirit box running, and you hear I asked you one of the things I started using, because I've asked before for dates and never really get a date, but I've started asking who the president is. Mm-hmm. And I've been pretty successful with that, them responding who the president was at their time. And through the spirit box, you hear what sounds like a girl say Taft. And then there was something right before that, which I think he was trying to say Wilson, but it didn't come across right. So I was like, what did you say? And then you hear the EVP say Wilson. And then when you looked it up, because been so long as I've been to school, I didn't remember the list of presidents, but there was a President Taft and then President Wilson right next in line.
Yeah, Wilson.
Yep. And then, which was all in that time period of when it was a post office. And so this librarian did some research, when she found out about the 12-year-old girl, she went to findagrave.com, and during President Taft's era in all of Tift County, there is one 12-year-old girl that died during President Taft's era, buried in Tift County.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that her name was Sally. So so we're going to try that when we go back the 21st and see if we can confirm if that is her name, if that is her. But of all of Tift County and all the graves, there's only one 12-year-old that died during Taft's presidency there. So that's a heck of a coincidence.
Yeah. I love that Find Your Grave. That's a cool site.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
We did a library in Hanover, Pennsylvania when I lived there.
Mm-hmm.
And I paid to this and probably books flying off and stuff. And that library is huge. It has 3 floors to it. It's very,
Wow. Wow.
It's huge.
Yeah, this one's just
And
two
then
floors
the basement,
in the
then.
basement. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's 2 floors in the basement.
Mhm.
And we caught a ball of light anomaly. We also caught it looked almost like a flashlight going out of the genealogy room. And then, ironically, 10 minutes before the ball of light leaving the room, it's hard. You can watch the videos on my Facebook, but it looks like you can see the IR light reflecting off the cabinets. Well, it looks like something rolls the IR lights, like it's coming in the room. And you can literally watch the IR lights roll, and then 10 minutes later, the ball of light leaves. So it's almost like something came in the room for 10 minutes and then left. And we were all downstairs. Yeah. We were oblivious to it. We were down on the lobby and in the basement when that happened. So it wasn't contamination from us.
All right. There is one here called Eyes in Theater. What theater was that? Do you remember?
It'd been the TIFF Theater.
TIFF
Theater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, the eyes.
So the
Eyes.
city-
Yes, on stage. Yeah. Eyes on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty. And interesting with that, Scott, is when Darcy was doing, it was Darcy or Liz was doing at the time, Delco session. I mean, not Delco, Estes. It kept saying, look up, I'm up here, look up.
Yeah.
And we couldn't see anything. But at that time, the camera was facing out in the audience where you saw Philip and all sitting. But then later on that night, I turned it back towards backstage and the doorway down to go under the stage, and we laid the tripwire and all out. And that's when we caught that. And what's crazy is there is it's a solid wall there. We first thought of animals, but I went back and it's a solid wall, concrete wall. There is a platform there, like hasn't been used in years, like a telescopic platform. So it's almost like somebody would have been standing on the platform, but hell, it's 12 feet up in the air, 15 feet up in the air from the platform. Like I said, it's just a solid wall, so nobody could have been there. But yeah, it's pretty wild. I think it's zoomed in.
Pretty good, yeah. I watched it today, so.
Okay, that's far away. Yeah,
that's pretty wild.
You still see it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it blinks just like a person. I mean, it's
red top. I can see it, but
mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can trust it or not. Can you see on my hand there?
Yeah, I can see it. See it just went.
That's where the eyes are.
Mm-hmm.
High five.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and nobody was on stage when we caught that. Yeah, here it is zoomed in.
Okay, oh sorry, have that.
They
there you go. It's breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that metal, that little bit of metal you see right there, it looks like a bar. That's not a railing or anything. That is actually electrical conduit. That's against the wall.
Okay. It's
That's
the IR.
Yeah, it's just reflecting off that. Yeah, it's just the small metal conduit that goes to a junction box.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no handrail or anything there. That's a wall.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
we had back in Gasper, PA. He was at bed and breakfast, and they had a barn And we got eyes in the barn one time over
Wow.
there.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I know another good one, real quick. Do you see the City Hall screen?
Oh, I have it wrong here.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
It's our first floor screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll play it for you right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is there a water feature or fountain there?
that was a new DVR system I had. And
Okay.
I turned the mics up on it, not knowing that it would be doing that.
All right.
So that water is actually the microphone's being turned up too loud.
Okay. All right.
Which we figured that out now after that one. But yeah, that's City Hall, Tifton City Hall. It used to be the Mayan Hotel, and before that, it was actually built on top of a Sadie Hotel that burnt down. If you go down the basement, the original basement's still part of the old Sadie Hotel, and you can see the burn marks and smoke marks on the brick. They have claims of seeing a female lady in white on the second floor, women tripping on the staircase, all sorts of stuff. And but we were at dinner. Nobody was in the building when we caught that. What sounds like a man falling. And you hear the man falling, then you hear what sounds like a woman start crying, and then you hear at the end of the video, it sounds like a man says, "What are you doing?" So when we were doing,
So they made
we could.
thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say about the reveal when we did the reveal with the fall, like none of us had really heard it because of the way it sounded. But when we were in the theater and it was through their system, you could literally hear the guy falling from like
You can
far
hear
away.
it. Yeah.
You can
And
hear
then
him
it sounds
hit
like
the
a
ground.
thud.
You can hear the thud.
It was
Yeah, you can't hear it on
Wow.
here, but on the theater's sound system, when we played it, you could hear the thud.
Yeah.
That made everybody just gave you chills with it. It was eerie sounding. But and the thing is, they've had a lot of fires, and so a lot of records have been lost, and some stuff just wasn't recorded, for whatever reason. But while we were there, we were playing the reveal. A City Hall employee was there at the reveal, and we talked about it and then played it, and then she actually piped up and said that yes, she works there at City Hall, and she has a customer that comes in who's probably 70 something years old now. But when he was little, him and his mother were there when they were restoring the hotel, because it was abandoned in the 60s or 70s, and then they decided to restore it to become City Hall in the early 80s. So maybe he wasn't, I can't remember exact dates, but anyway, when he was there, he remembers the guy falling to his death from the third floor, a construction worker. So she confirmed that. So I feel like it's a residual as far as that goes. But yeah, nobody was in the building. The place was locked up, and we caught it. And ironically, it just isn't on that camera. All three cameras picked up the guy screaming. The first floor was the loudest. You could hear it coming down, but you could hear it on all three cameras on all three floors.
That hardly ever happens.
Yeah, I know.
It was amazing.
That was pretty wild. That was.
Yeah.
And doors slamming, all sorts of stuff there. While it really picked up activity. I mean, it had activity while we were there, but it was more active when nobody was in the building. You could hear voices, doors slamming, all sorts of stuff. We did catch an audible whistle while we were in there investigating on the third floor. Me, Brandon, and Alex, who was a city employee with us, all three of us heard a whistle, and nobody had whistled. And then me and Alex heard it again about 5 minutes later. Our backs were against the wall to a room, and the door was shut and locked. It was an office, but it used to be a bedroom because, hotel. And we heard the whistle inside the wall behind us, lower, but it sounded. Best way, actually, almost sounded like somebody snoring. You have that whistle and a snore. That's what it sounded like, and so that was pretty wild.
Speaking of that, only having on one device picking up, we did an investigation at church, and it's built back in 1818.
Wow.
And we picked up a ghost choir singing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, here,
That's cool.
Yeah, sure.
I have it. It was wild.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Here it is.
Wow.
Wow.
That's true.
Holy cow. Now, was that church
that was
still
it.
active, or is it abandoned?
They about 5-6 years ago, I think they closed it, but the pastor, she was really nice. I went there to church 3 times because my first paranormal experience I ever had was at that church also.
Oh, wow.
We picked up they had like a nursery playroom for the kids while parents were at church, and then they had a little boy that they feared died around that time there who they called Freddy because they found a gravestone or cemetery plot with his Frederick on it, so they called him Freddy. So we were doing EP session, and I was with another lady who was with me, and you're sitting at the little tables, little chairs and stuff, and she knocks on it, says, "Can you make that noise?" Like, I'd asked you bang on it, and she goes, "Can you make that noise like she did?" And I said, "I can't."
Wow.
So, I have one too.
Yeah.
That's how I couldn't you guys talk about it. This actual first EVP I got when I first started with the first group. So that's why it's one of the best ones I ever had.
Can you make that noise like he did? Can you tap on the table? Can you make that noise like he did? Can you tap
Now,
on
I
the
can.
table?
Is that what I'm hearing? That's good.
That's strong.
That's real good.
It's every voice.
Well, that's something I'm talking about. Team of friends. I mean, all the EMF stuff and all that's still cool, but it's still mind blowing when you get whether EVP or an actual disembodied voice from something that doesn't have a voice box. That's
Right.
mind blowing.
Yeah,
And
we had so creepy almost too. Like, you ever a chance to go up to I'll take further north out New York, but the Palmyra Historical Museum and the Phillips Journal store
oh, okay.
on the second floor is called the EVP. The quick history is that the plot that was there before they put the building is a house that burnt down and killed a family there of like 7.
Oh wow.
Kids range from 3 to 12, I think, in ages.
Wow.
So we're upstairs doing EP session. I got home, I went over it and stuff, and like, okay, believe what I got. The guy says, I have a computer sitting there, and I have a USB stick, and the way it's turned is like plugged in. And the guy says, who along with us, he says, the reason that light's doing that, and then right after that, you can hear the creepy voice that says, come on down with us.
Wow.
So, this is a creep me out.
Said, hey, come on out. These guys came all the way from Pennsylvania to come and see you. Did that light just go out on that computer? Is there a reason that did that?
Wow.
That's great. Makes me feel it, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, come on out. These guys came all the way from Pennsylvania to come and see you. Did that light just go out on that computer? Is there a reason that did that?
Come on down with us. Wow. That's pretty
yeah.
wild. That's pretty
Yeah.
wild. That's wild.
That's probably the best one we've got.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Okay, I actually have some EVPs available there. So that I think they gave me like Andersonville.
Yes,
Is that-
Andersonville at the prison, Civil War
Okay.
prison.
Okay, I'll play it one.
It sounds.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it sounds like what it is. We're at a cabin, just me and Philip, and I ask, it's lunchtime, what's cooking and all that, and through the spirit box, it sounds like somebody says no to anything cooking, but then it sounds like a man says grab a beer and wait for it. So and that sounds EVP. That doesn't sound like it's through the spirit box. Is there anyone out here cooking? It's lunchtime. Is there anyone out here cooking? It's lunchtime.
Have a beer. I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
We've had a lot of spirits out
This-
with
Guess
beer.
this spirits like your spirits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I caught that on my task cam. I love that thing.
Oh, I've wanted to kill one of those.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, the downfall with them is sometimes they're too sensitive. As far as you hear everything, you could hear a gnat scratching his butt across the street. I've caught some amazing EVPs on them. Don't recommend wearing them with a bunch of women around, especially if a bat goes flying. Because the scream about blow your eardrums out.
Yeah, we had a lot of bats too on this. Actually, it's at a prison we had a lot of bats in the basement.
Well, we did it at Sweet Springs, and when that whole tunnel thing was happening, or not tunnel, the hallway thing was happening, a bat happened up here and come flying by us, and the lady started screaming. And I just had to rip my headphones off because my damn eardrums. And that's the down, but the clarity is pretty cool. Now the DR60 is scratchy, but I was at a Paracon this past weekend and we did some recordings with it, and I was pretty blown away. I mean, there's skeptical people with it, but I could definitely hear. I was having conversations with people, and I could definitely tell they were responding to everything I asked. It wasn't simple one word; it was multiple words. near a hanging tree, and pretty impressed with it. I still ain't decided if I'm gonna sink that much money into that kind of recorder, but they're pretty impressive what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the scratchiness on them, but they were pretty impressive with what we did catch.
Right.
So
I usually use that Audacity and stuff, but
okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a free tool for DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got one here. It's called "It's Coming, James."
Oh yeah, that was off a Ghost Tube app. Still wild it said my name because it wasn't even my phone. It was a different girl's phone. That was at Indiana State Sanatorium
Oh yeah.
at the superintendent's house. It was we were interacting with a little kid, and it said it was hiding from its grandmother. And I got an EV. I don't think I sent it to you, but it was an EVP I caught. I had my SLS camera, and the wild thing was earlier that day in one of the windows, we were sitting out by a fire near where we were staying, and I happened to see at the window, it looked like something moving back and forth in the window. And I said, "Hey, do y'all see that, or is that just me?" I mean, it's far away, and we all could see it. Well, two of the ladies went up to the house, and as soon as they went in the house, it started looking like a ping pong, boom, 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 back and forth in the window, and then disappeared. And and it didn't come back. And they said they didn't see nothing. So anyway, later on that evening, I went up there with the SLS camera, and there's two closets in that room and a divider in the middle. And I picked up something in one closet, then it moved to the next closet, and then it moved to the middle and then disappeared. And it was just me and my wife up there. And I asked, "Were you just in the closet?" And on my recorder is a woman that says, "Yeah, I was." So yeah, it was pretty wild. But that's where we caught that "It's Coming, James." It was on that through the Ghost Tube app of all things.
It's coming, James. It's coming, James. It's coming, James.
Yeah, I don't know if it was trying to say it's talking about his grandmother or what.
James is like our Zach Bagans.
Yeah, James is like our Zach. They seem
He's
to
like,
love
"Bring
you.
it
They always
on."
are calling you out.
I know.
Telling you
Yeah.
to leave or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, and I'm respectful to him. That's the thing. It's not like I'm being ugly.
No.
That's a good one. I have one here called Popsicle.
That was a spirit box. That was in St. Albans Sanatorium, which I do want to take my team up sometime. I've been there like 5 times over the years, and it's pretty intense with the activity there. But yeah, I asked one of the questions Buddy used to ask was, "What's your favorite ice cream?" And on this, it responded popsicles.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
But
Yep.
next time you guys come to Indiana, I can get up a little way. I'm in Ohio now, so I'm not that far to. Because they wanted to get to that place in Indiana, I never got there. So. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been so busy. I still haven't reviewed my stuff from Indiana.
Yeah.
I just I bought extra memory cards and took that one out and labeled it and put it to the side when I have a slow time just to go over it. Because most of those places like that, we do 2 nights and day and 2 nights. And so it's a lot of stuff. Most of it's personal experiences, but I've caught some pretty wild stuff too. And I'd like to eventually share with people.
Yeah, sharing is caring.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
especially in what we do, because there are some people who are real stingy about their stuff, and that's not what the hell I care.
Well, and that's, I guess, how when I first got in it, and whether my buddy was kind of following his lead, and it was kind of like it was more of being competitive, I guess, against other teams. And I took a different approach this time of being more supportive with other teams, and sharing and all that stuff, and just helping each other out. I mean, in the end, it's one goal, figuring out what's on the other side and all that, and helping people. And it's done a lot better and a lot more positive, I think, for us.
Right.
Go ahead, Darcy.
Right.
Oh, I was just
So
saying
you
on that.
guys do a collab?
Do what now?
Do you guys ever do collab investigations with other groups?
We haven't. We're not opposed to it by no means. Because I know some of them places are so expensive that sometimes you have to collab with several groups just to afford to go.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
I know.
We shared like 6 people go, so it cost them. Especially if you do a whole weekend.
Yep, that's exactly right. And that's like some of the places I've gone with some of our other friends. 2 days, because hell, I'm driving 10 to 12 hours just to go for. That's like Waverly. They only allow 8 hours. It took me 10 hours to get there just for 8 hours.
Right, and not including setup time.
Yeah. And so that's why a lot of it we've gotten more into, and it's more just personal, because your time, unless you can do 2 days, you're limited to your time. So you're trying to experience all you can as quickly as you can, and before you have to get kicked out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But what was you going to say, Darcy?
All I was going to say was, like with sharing with other teams and being more supportive, I think more teams and more people need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It has been such a struggle in my life for people to take this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You get people who look either down on you, one for religious beliefs, or they're like, oh, that's just, in your head or whatever. But I think over, basically the last 10 years, I've seen it being taken more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like, that's something that I think, collaborating with people and getting the evidence out there. I mean, people can make up their own minds about it, but I do think it helps to legitimize this field.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of goes with the same thing, like with the UFO and UAP things too. For so many years, people think they're a bunch of nut jobs out there, but as evidence has come along, and they've said stuff, and now it's in the Senate and all this other stuff. Like it, I think it does help for us to share our evidence and to be supportive of each other.
I agree.
Yeah, back when I started with not sure my age now, but back at the mid-90s, I think, back when really there weren't many teams out there and stuff, and then all of a sudden, in like 5-6 years, this shit loaded.
Oh yeah,
with people.
Yeah.
Just want to get through all stuff, and a lot of people don't take it seriously, and we had fun too. I mean, we carried on sometimes just to break up,
Well, that's some of the.
We're fun too. I don't know what to do something like that fun. So
some of the well, the biggest thing is some of them is they're wanting to become TV celebrities, so they fake everything to make it look like they're getting all this stuff to try to get popular. And back, like you said, back in the day when they swarmed, every time you turn around you had a paranormal show, and several of them got busted, and there's still some that I think over exaggerate what they got.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yeah.
See, we first started off. We first started off. We got approached by Discovery Channel, and they wanted to be on that. I forget what it's called. Hold on, I can't remember exactly what it was, but we discussed it, and they said about having all rights to and how they want to use it. Well, what happened was the old group I was with, we did a bar, I forget what it's called, but and we had evidence of a flashlight go off. Back then we just flashes. We use much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it was me and my friend before we left that group to get our own group. We found out that they were actually on one of those shows. And then, well, we didn't get credit for it. They said it was the one guy and the other guy who's there. Did you hear me and my friend talking? It's like, really? And what they did to that and all that, that kind of stuff, that's all worth it, really.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I'd rather have the credibility than the popularity and of lies. I'd rather be honest and upfront. And that's the same with us. I mean, if it's not real, because there's like one picture I got, and I did it on the reveal. I wasn't even paying attention to it when I took the photo and posted on Facebook, just showing, the hours of reviewing footage, and it blew up. It looked like it was at the city hall over on the right side. It looked like a woman in a period dress standing there, and it blew. Everybody's, oh my gosh, see the woman, see the woman. And they thought that's why I posted the picture, and it wasn't. I just took a random picture of me watching video footage, and so I never said anything because I went back and looked, and it wound up being a mop bucket and a tree when you had the lights on. But when the IR lights off and the IR came on, it looked like a woman. And I said that'll be perfect. Paradillion. I said that'll be a perfect example to show them at the reveal, and that's what we did because I could have used it as fake. Oh, look, we caught this woman, but she never moved. But I wanted to educate the people there.
The other thing about that is like if people wear mics and stuff, if they brush it a certain way, it sounds like a growl. Recorders.
Yep.
And so I actually wore a hat like you have of him, and I actually clipped my mic on that. And then run the wire down to my
That's smart. See, I got in the habit. I hold which way my task in. I just got in the habit of doing. I hold it with like 2 fingers out away from me, and I've just taught myself to where I'm not dragging it or anything because I've loaned it to other people and you.
Yeah.
My God. And so I like that idea because that like you said it. Oh, I got a growl. No, it's your shirt pocket or something.
I just bring the wire down my back and I have my cord on lock in the pocket.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That's cool. And then at one time, my friend who helped me, he is actually a painter by trade. And a lot of times I still work like 6 hours a week and stuff. So I would take his stuff and listen to it. Well, I had to like get rid of all his audio. He was chewing gum the whole time. I'm like, dude, I called him up, and he goes, "What do you want?" I'm like, "That's all I heard, dude. You were recording." I was like, Jesus, really?
Yep.
Well, that was one thing when we were doing the theater, when we were investigating the theater, that the sound in there was like you could hear a pin drop from down on the So we had to be really careful.
Well, that was our first large theater. So when we went as a full team the first night, and the acoustics were, you couldn't hear anything.
Too much.
I mean, we got some amazing SD sessions, but what we did, we went back as a smaller group of like 5 or 6 maybe, and that's when Lorelai got grabbed, and then. But the overall feel was totally different. It was, I don't know if Tyler's still on, but it's just eerie, and just you'd hear the stuff we were hearing, chairs moving. It was a whole different vibe with just a smaller group. And
is that the night we heard the shh? Yeah, that was right there.
Yeah. We were getting shushed.
Creepy.
Through the spirit box, and we all heard it with our ears too.
Yeah, I have one.
And then on the
go ahead.
Oh, and the ghost thing too. The ghost box or whatever we had. It said something about the front row, and then right about then was when we heard the
Just shh. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were all sitting in the front row, so it was kind of.
Yeah.
I want to hear called "Kill the Kids."
Oh
I think
yeah,
Jeff.
that's a creepy one. That was at a residential house several years ago. We did.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was. I honestly think it was an old couple because there was a man spirit there too. I honestly think it was an old couple trying to scare the people out of the house.
Mhm.
The house was nasty. They did not keep the house in orderly fashion at all. I mean, it was bad. We had to tell them, okay, if you want, we did a walkthrough. That's what we caught this on the walkthrough. I say we caught kill the kids on the walkthrough. We caught this response, the yes, when we came back, but we had to tell them, okay, you need to clean the house up before we come back and actually investigate. That's how bad it was.
Oh wow.
So
so
they sort of cleaned it enough that you could walk around and set up cameras. But what it is my recorder was laying on the bed and Philip was playing it back to the lady, the owner, and shortly thereafter they moved out. But yeah, play that. That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Kill the kids.
Yeah, it was creepy.
That was that dog barking in the case here, isn't it? She ever out that window looking out, like, you can't see it in the dark, but she's woohoo.
Yeah, that response is pretty creepy. But yeah, she got her wish because they moved out right after that, after we played them that, and because the old man there liked to play with the toys. That's what kind of threw me off why they would say that, but I really think it was they were just wanting them out of their house, and so but they got their wish.
I have some pictures here, thanks to this one's pretty cool. It's from to close your third floor with the stiff knocking down. Here, I'll show you one. I thought that was pretty cool. The one picture we sent. We sent a few pictures also.
Yeah, I just sent a variety because I didn't, for whatever, just stick through. Tell me what the picture is.
That's cool. I love that picture.
Oh yeah, that's at City Hall. That's at City Hall. There's nothing in the picture. It's just a beautiful picture.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
That's on the third floor where the man fell off of.
Okay.
And, but yeah, that's the third floor. Or just beautiful woodwork.
Yeah, that's the third floor.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple more things here. Let's see what this one is. Here I'll show this up for you.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it's our team.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
That's my wife, me, Ashton, my daughter Lola, Jen, who's not on her. We need to update the picture. She's not. She had to. Sadly, her work and all took her away from us. She was one of the researchers, and then Gabe and Larry, and then Sarah and Brandon, and Darcy and Tyler, and then Liz. So that was at the theater right before we started investigating.
Awesome. All right, I think I'll one more you sent me. This area. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, here. I think it's the last one, Jim. Yeah, I think it's this.
Yeah, that's at the theater. That's not our picture. That's
that's the one with
the two. Yeah.
Alex, the theater manager's friend, took that about a week or two before we investigated it.
Oh, I see it.
And they were the only ones in the theater, and they were talking on stage, and his friend just stopped talking and pulled his phone out and took a picture. And he was like, "Dude, you see that?" And when Alex looked, he didn't see nothing, but it looks like two figures sitting out in the theater.
Yeah, it does.
In the seatings.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so we showed that at the reveal, and told people, I think it was like row 11, row 13. I said, if you're sitting in those rows, you're probably sitting on top of them.
Get off my lap.
Yep. So,
oh,
yeah, that's pretty cool. Really cool.
Yeah. Wow.
But
so, what else do you guys have coming up?
well, we got the library deal, and we got the jail.
We got the theater too, James, because we got the winner from the reveal.
That's in January also. We had to push that to January. But yeah, we did a raffle during the reveal. We did a raffle, and young lady won small. I put together like a basic equipment case with like a K2, a laser grid, dowsing rods, and voice recorder, and raffled it off as a prize, and told whoever won would also come back with us, investigate the theater again. So we're going to be doing that in January as well.
That's awesome.
And I put up some feelers at a few different places, but haven't either got responses, or I got a call back to, or I got one not too long ago, which was a pretty negative response. But working on some different things.
That's all you do is knock on the door. Keep knocking on the doors.
I send out emails there once in a while, because there's the theater out here too. But so, another question for you: if you had what place you would go to if you go to any place in the world to investigate? What place do you think you want to go to?
In the world, it'd probably be the Paris catacombs.
I've been there. Oh no, that was
rub it in.
Poo-poo.
In the world, it'd be the Paris catacombs. If it was in the U.S., I'd say Transalgini. I definitely want to go there.
I want to go to that Winchester Mystery House. That place is cool. I think that's in California.
Maybe we'll lose you there, Liz.
You might.
Let's house is pretty cool.
Walk into one of those rooms that doesn't have anything.
I know, the stairway lead to nowhere.
I think I want to go to like Ireland. That'd be cool there.
I'd like Scotland.
Scotland.
Family is from Scotland.
Cool. Some of those old castles.
Yes.
That'd be awesome with the castles.
So many Dracula's castle. I mean, so many.
Oh
so
yeah.
many to choose from.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, so many to choose from. Amazing places, Stonehenge, all that.
It's my dad Dracula here.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, Machu Picchu would be cool too.
Yeah.
That would be. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to that axe house that's in I think it's Ohio.
Vasilla murder axe house. Yeah, I'd like to go there too.
I'd like to go
It's
there.
Villisca.
Villisca.
Axe murder house.
Yep.
Yeah. It's such a sad story, first of all, but
I know.
I say it's really active.
Well, let's see, board be cool to do too, though.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, there's still a lot of places on the bucket list to check off.
Yeah,
for sure. And I'm hoping team wise we can all start going to some of these bigger places.
I'm getting up in years, so I'm doing the walker an hour earlier, and I'll get around. It's kind of hard for me to go around anymore.
I understand.
It is. I have problems with stairs.
Yeah. I just turned 55 in August, so
I'm 53.
Up there.
Close.
All right. Pretty close.
53.
James?
Love it.
41.
They're babies.
So Liz, she's a baby, right? Were you 30 something?
33.
33.
Yeah, that's close. I said 30 something. So
30 something. Lower
30
to 30.
something.
I feel old.
Lord.
I'm here 20 years long, so.
I still feel like a little kid though.
Oh, my.
I don't know.
Especially when her mom's around all the
I
time.
know.
too.
I do. I feel like I'm 15 still.
Yeah, she's a baby. Yeah.
Yep. That's for sure.
My baby. I know. I do get worried sometimes on investigations. I still have that. Oh, she's going by herself.
I know. She won't let me go by myself. I'm like, come on. I'm like, nothing's gonna happen. I'm fine.
Lord.
Yeah,
Scared.
a helicopter parent during investigation.
Yeah.
Her little brother goes with us sometimes too. JP's daughter and my son, we call them like the junior investigators.
Yeah, they're about the same age too. I think 16.
But they enjoy it. My son really enjoys it too, and it is kind of just a family thing. We've had a lot of experiences as a family, so it kind of has led us in this direction.
Keeping it in the family. Family hobby. Lord.
Definitely. Good hobby though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my. You guys are fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like if you want to talk about this kind of stuff, let's try to concentrate getting more teams on. If there was I'll get like an author on and I read some of their books. I like reading books. And I had a meeting on one before, and the demonologist just have a lot of that.
Nice.
And I have one coming up, I think, in November. Whoever you see a psychiatrist and a demonologist, so that's pretty interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it'd be good some more. So,
Right.
it's more fun because but I know from the past that what newer kids are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You actually learn a lot if people want to. I tell people before I first started off, if you want to join you should do your homework, and then don't go out and buy $1,000 for equipment. You'll find a place and. I'd say you don't have to have a great camera to get good pictures, and it's just, if they want to be seen, they'll be there. So and that's hard for evidence to get. So.
Yep. So I tell people, visuals the rarest, so don't spend all your money on cameras.
Right.
You're better off getting a decent recorder.
Recorders are my favorite thing, but I get a lot of stuff from them. Yeah.
Well, I hate to cut it short. This has been fun, but I gotta go pick up my boss.
Okay.
I'm in a hotel right now in Augusta, and he's at the bar.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I went and dropped him off and came back.
Well, you start talking ghosts and hauntings and.
I could talk all night. I could talk all night.
That's fine. I gotta go do a printing shit.
Seems good.
Okay. Guys, things come on. It's our pleasure trying to get on, and another year or so to get more stuff. I'll bring it back on. But
awesome.
Let's keep in touch. Maybe work something out and do a collab somewhere.
Okay.
Cool. That'll be fun. Because right now it's just me and another girl in the group. Yeah, so
cool.
Out here in Ohio.
You have my email, and
yep.
Like I said, we got our all our social media: Facebook, TikTok, and Instagrams. Cross the Line Paranormal, so it's easy to find us, and we have a lot more video and audio on there as well. So,
all right, yeah, I'll go ahead and post your links after the show.
I appreciate it.
Sure.
And but yeah,
it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us on.
Okay.
you too.
Take care. Happy
we
holiday,
All right,
everyone.
you take
Yeah,
care.
happy holiday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, James.